Welcoming Kim to the Hall of Fame is fellow Olympian from the 1984 Summer Olympic Games, Michael Jordan. Please welcome the little girl with pigtails, Kim Mulkey.
Woo! Michael, I'm incredibly honored. I guess the last time we stood this close, we were walking out that '84 Olympics, and we were a hell of a lot younger looking and probably a lot skinnier. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I was told to catch Bill Walton in the elevator and try to beat his Hall of Fame speech. Did he go an hour, 45 minutes? No, I'm just kidding, Mr. Walton. I met you, there you are, big guy. I met you in the elevator, and he told me, you take as long as you want, Coach. You take as long as you want. I'll keep it short, sweet, and to the point. I look out from this podium, and I'm really overcome with twin feelings of amazement, humility and amazement. Even now, more than a year since I was announced as an inductee into the class of 2020, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that a kid from Hammond, Louisiana, or should I say Tickfall, Louisiana, could find herself in the company of giants. Giants. I'm amazed that someone who could never consider coaching. I was talked into being a coach. After the '84 Olympics, I received a postgraduate scholarship from the NCAA to work on my master's degree, and I was sitting in a class, and police officers came and got me out of class. The first thing you think of is there's a tragic accident in your family. But they asked me to report to the president's office after class. At that time, the president was F.J. Taylor at Louisiana Tech, who founded the program. And he wanted me to become an assistant coach. He wanted me to do something that I said, I want no part of that world. I'm done. I want to be a CEO and fly all over the country in corporate jets. Little did I know that man knew more about what I was supposed to do than I did. I'm amazed that a university in Texas, with which I had absolutely no prior connection, welcomed me, they embraced me, and they provided me and my family, my 2 children, unwavering and unconditional support. So I'd like to give a shout out to all the Baylor people here tonight. I'm humbled as well. I mean, how cool is it going into the Hall of Fame with all of these great players and coaches? We're Hall of Famers, guys. We're Hall of Famers! But you know, we have more than that in common. That's a pat on the back and that's a feel good, but we really have more than that in common. All of us being honored here tonight, we understand that while we're the ones being honored and recognized, we're only here because of one of life's greatest ironies. We get the credit when it should be shared with and by so many others. I'm only here because of the great individuals who coached me. Sonja Hogue recruited me to Louisiana Tech University, and we won the very first NCAA title in 1982. Naismith Hall of Famer Leon Barmore, he took me in as a raw, untested 23-year-old assistant coach, and we won another national championship in 1988. So let me give a shout out to the athletic director and the plane load of people who came here tonight from Louisiana Tech University. Hall of Famer Pat Summitt. She gave me so many life's lessons. While I played for her on the 1984 gold medal winning Olympic team, I'm only here because of those types of coaches I learned from. I played with some of the greatest players ever in the history of the game. I played against some of the greatest players. But what I also got to do is I got to coach some of the greatest players. No coach stands here without having great players. I'm a very small part of the basketball world because those players choose to listen to you or ignore you. And I've been blessed that they believed in me, they embraced me, and they allowed me to push them beyond places they thought they could ever go. I'm only here tonight because of great assistant coaches. When you find a coach in college that doesn't have much turnover on their staff, you might better wonder, what are they doing right there? I don't have much turnover on my staff, and I would like to acknowledge my staff that is here tonight. I wish I could name every player that played for me, but Bill Walton told me I can't break his record, so I'm not going to do that. I have to acknowledge a few people. For the last 21 years, I've coached at one institution. Many coaches have to pack suitcases because they either get fired or they move on to the next best job. I've had the best time of my life at Baylor University, and I got there because of athletic director Tom Stanton and president Dr. Robert Sloan. They took a chance on a little country girl from Louisiana that had never left the state of Louisiana, and they gave me every resource and all the support in the world. I want to also acknowledge, recently I changed jobs, not because I was fired, but by choice, and I'd like to acknowledge all the LSU contingency here tonight. And last, well, before I talk about my family, I want to say this. Ironic, isn't it? I'll say it again. Coaches get to go into Hall of Fames. But I'm telling you, we don't do it without players. You just don't do it without players. I want to tell you again, I see some of the greatest players in the women's game here. Thank you. Thank you to all my Baylor players, and thank you from the bottom of my heart how you can make coaches look wonderful. I want to also talk about my family. I have to tell you this. My mother is in the audience, Drew. She was the one who said, it's okay. It's okay to dress up and look feminine and be tough as hell on a basketball court. And Mom, I thank you for that. I'd like to acknowledge my two children, single mother. It's not easy. It's not easy. Vanessa, it's not easy. You're the toughest woman I know to deal with what you deal with, honey. And let me tell you something, Life will reward those children. I promise you. I have a son who plays in the St. Louis Cardinals organization. He's so close to being on the major league team. And Magic, if he doesn't make it, trade for him, Magic. Get him in a Dodger uniform. Mackenzie has been on my staff. She's about to bring another grandchild into this world. Do not deliver her tonight. And if I can coach long enough, I'm going to get to coach a granddaughter maybe someday. To my grandson, Cannon, if you think you love your children, wait till you have grandchildren. And I figured out why you love the grandchildren just a little differently, because you can send them home when you're tired of them. I'll say this again from the bottom of my heart. As a coach, don't ever forget to take care of your players. And in college, don't ever forget to graduate those players. You can't promise them championships. You can't promise them that they'll be drafted. But the one thing you can promise them when you sit in their home is that you can send them home with a degree in their hand. Thank you.
Good luck.